is an incredibly overpowering sweet scent. It smells like flowers. Uncle Bad, is this it? Isn't it Detective Bad and Kay over there? I think she managed to escape the bailiff. No, that's not quite it. Oh, too bad, but it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. Since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it. Thanks! How treasured always! You seem to get along rather well. Oh, here. I've got something else for you. Hey, thank you, Uncle Bad! Earlier I ate one of these with gummy. Gummy? Oh, you mean gumshoe. Gummy is... He was trying to be nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy. Don't cry. Father wouldn't be sad if he saw you crying. I'm not crying. Okay. Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady too! Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant. So I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. What? You were just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? Why? People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. What's the problem with that? I don't have a problem with that, but I'm curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister. Yes, what is it? I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So, please, find the real bad guy, okay? I won't forgive whoever did this. In the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there is no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She went off while I was pondering. Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh, and I suppose that's something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. Sounds like he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's that ultra-strong perfume you raise. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window, but that smell is still here. Perfume, huh? So the sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand. She said it's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect, but see first one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it. I was born for much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as how you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail. I guess it would be honest ask about her wants. So now we have to perfume Miss U whales. Just fantastic. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. So you were in this room the entire recess. Like I said, I'll make the call to the precinct to get to that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Oh, you say that you were in this lobby with Miss U. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss U were in 2 different locations. Yes, I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Let's see, Miss U is the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident. That's what caused Detective Bad was the lead detective on that case. I wonder if the reason for the disdain is simply because you failed to guard CC. But because you were the lead detective of that case. You knew? I also know that today's trial involving the corporate embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss U and Mr. Faraday and the KG8 incident. If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Faraday, you and I, as you already know, we 3 were involved with the KG8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trial of a smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries? That trial was just a front. A facade? Yeah, duh. But the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. Then, what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Del Valle. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring, but he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Del Valle was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat. The boss man of the Amano Group? You can't seriously mean Mr. Honest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, CC, I was supposed to protect them both. Miss you did mention it as well, about how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister. But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into the little trap. What kind of a trap? The holes in his jacket are a testament to that trap. You mean you were fired upon? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to learn this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident. I see. I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit the brick law as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Celeste, you. But when you first met Miss Yu, it was on the day the verdict of the KG incident was handed down, was it not? Yes. Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottoms of our hearts. It was all we could do. But just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. I suppose not. You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Duh. Faraday and I, even after the KG-8 incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But there was no use. We cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. You appeared out of the blue as a defense attorney. Our client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending. And the client was related to the smuggling, and she was defending them. Duh. You was pursuing the ring as best as she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rell this time for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG-8 incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. Only way I had to get close to Mr. Rell was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him. Ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of a foreign karma! Just like us, you thought that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it. Only the skills of the craftsman. You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. So what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day Celia was born. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together. You two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagashiro case. Did we touch a nerve? I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagashiro than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. To prove that Rell was not the real Yatagashiro, which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I wouldn't be doing that either. I sense that there's more to this statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagashiro is what's necessary. You claim to know much about the Yatagashiro. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rell. I agree. Which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagashiro. What? The KG-8 incident and the second KG-8 incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there was one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagashiro. Mr. Rell claimed to be the Yatagashiro, however, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagashiro. Then during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd? Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already! I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected being the Yatagashiro were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? And so in order to catch Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagashiro. If it will help you solve this case, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why I will never caught the Yatagashiro. What was that sudden outburst for? You must make me whip you by accident! So accidentally whipped me anyway! There are three main reasons why the Yatagashiro will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagashiro always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagashiro always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagashiro doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. I see. So those are the Yatagashiro special traits? Sounds like an incredibly exclusive thief. The Yatagashiro has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rell wasn't the real Yatagashiro right away. But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about it this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the culprit embassy, the Yatagashiro. The Yatagashiro sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagashiro would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others, knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yatagashiro who sent it? That's easy. As special card that only the Yatagasa uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure. And that's what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. However, the Yatagasa wants to publicize something. A light card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rell about what was sent along with the white card, Rell had no idea what it was. That's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rell was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagashru now. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth! Yes. His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, I'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself. And to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. And I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony. Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict. Francisca, there's no need to further depress His Honor. But I'm not trying to, Miles. Your Honor. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence. Your Honor! Oh! Yes, can I help you? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I would accept that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. He's busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case. Understood, Your Honor. Pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. There should be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case. Maybe even something that'll finally lead me to the truth. I placed all the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. The evidence relates to today's Scorpion Embassy trial for Mr. Faraday's bag. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right? Yes, finally we can now take a look at the evidence itself and not just data about them. As we search to thoroughly examine them while we have the time. Agreed. I want to take a good look at all of the evidence from the Embassy Model 2. And why is that? Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about! Ugh. Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something! And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today! I see someone is still sure about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. It's also weird to see the knife up close. So we have the knife, the gun, an envelope, and what's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside the evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that? What a strange stroke of luck. Now look a gift horse in the mouth. Might as well flip through it too. I won't waste time inspecting every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it. I suppose I should explain it to you then. Yes, you should. Perfectly and in its entirety, if you please. On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Rell was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned. Because the mortar weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. The simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rell was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice the security camera. The Corbin Embassy security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly see identified Mr. Rell on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage includes sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the movement of someone's death in real life. Me neither. Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it. Looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here. It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in the case. And it will also appear that he had proof that Mr. Rell was not the Yatagashiro. And he apparently also had a very definitive piece of evidence. Yes, I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rell might have had about being the real Yatagashiro. And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the embassy murder. This organizer's a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll take my time and give it a thorough read later. Look! There's a picture stuck between the pages here. It appears to be a key. And a rather oriented one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagashiru's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? The Yatagashiru's key? Detective Bad said something earlier. What's different about it this time was that the evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the Yuan who entered the Colombian embassy, the Yatagashiro. The Yatagashiro sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagashiro would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep the secret key safe. As the prosecutor on both the Yatagashiro and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? It's never crossed your mind that you use your wine cup for the wrong purpose? That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the corporate embassy staff member was the gun. if that's the case, then where did this knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rell. That's the only logical conclusion, right? No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse? Think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife wielding anyone Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is the fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Mostly there's one eye listed Mr. Faraday's organizer no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. Take that! The Yachigatsu key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and ornamentation of the knife key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife? Very good. Both the Yatagashu's key in his photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagashu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say? It appears that you're finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same. But that's impossible! Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let's examine this knife in a little more detail. I can't believe it turned into a key! To think there was such a trick to this thing! So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key to the Yachigashu stole. This piece of information is more crucial than anything we've learned up until now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Faraday only mentioned the key to aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside. If that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew about even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. Being that the only person who could be is the one who set the key in the first place. The great thief Yatagashu. And maybe Mr. Rell really was the Yatagashu. And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really, especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rell was not the Yatagashu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier, when we questioned Rell about what was sent along with the right card, Rell had no idea what it was. I see. Alright then, I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yatagashu. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. This gun was originally used to kill the Copian embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest. And then this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. It's odd. We saw one piece of evidence. And that piece of that's missing is a surveillance video that was played in court. Surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? We saw the moment in which Mr. Rell committed the murder. It could have gone indeed. Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you diligent in your duties? What? No, I do not neglect my duties. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor, the more important piece of evidence in today's trial. This surveillance video is not among the evidence you laid out for me. I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is just somewhere at the crime scene. There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I'll have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant lobby number 2.